Welcome into the Extra Point presented by Corner Pub in Brentwood on 710 Old Hickory Boulevard for Nashville's best meat and threes, craft beers, and more. The neighborhood meets at the corner. And Zach, I know how much you love fantasy football, and fantasy football drafts right around the corner. This year, I think the Titans offense has a lot of weapons out there for fantasy football players. But who's one Titan you would pick before any other Titans player in fantasy football?
I also know how much you hate fantasy football.
Yeah, I'm an anti-fantasy football guy, but we don't have time for that today.
Comment on how bad that is in the comment section. But if I had to pick one guy from the Tennessee Titans, it's pretty easy. It's number 82, Delanie Walker, the most reliable guy. I know they have more wide receivers than they ever have, right? Mariota has more weapons, but he always tends to go back to Delanie Walker. He seems to get open. I think the tight end is a threat. I think Delanie Walker is coming into his own. He got a contract decision a couple of years ago, and he is continually steady on pace. I'm predicting 1,000 yards receiving from Delanie Walker this year. He's a top 3 tight end. He's up there with Gronk and with Travis Kelce. I think the other two option would be Mariota a little bit down the ways or DeMarco Murray. I still think the more fantasy points for a tight end, you got to go with Delanie Walker right now.
Well, I get it because there's not as many tight ends. There's more wide receivers out there in the NFL than there are tight ends to pick from. But what's the most valuable position in fantasy football? I don't like fantasy, but I know this. It's the running back. Yeah, you got to make sure you get a solid running back. And who I know is going to touch the ball 300 times this year? DeMarco Murray. He's going to run it. He's going to score touchdowns. He's going to catch the football. He's going to score touchdowns there too. And he could possibly throw the football because he threw a touchdown last year to your boy, Delanie Walker. DeMarco Murray is the most valuable fantasy football player for the Titans because he's the most reliable in who's going to touch the ball the most, who's going to affect the game the most. That is 29, DeMarco Murray, even with Derrick Henry coming on stronger in his second year.
Here's why I think you're wrong. I got 2 reasons.
Okay.
First of all, Father Time. Last year sustained 2 injuries with his foot and his hand. I know played through that. But age is undefeated. That's going to keep creeping along. And you know what the other thing is? His carries are going to diminish. These are the things that you do not know because you know who's coming at you? Number 22. Derrick Henry will get more carries this year in his second year than his rookie year. That is a bad pick if you pick DeMarco Murray over Delanie Walker.
Okay, you said Father Time is creeping up. And how old is Delanie Walker? Delanie Walker is 3 years older than DeMarco Murray.
Doesn't have the tread.
No, he has. There's different tread, I know. But I'm just...
In San Francisco, the guy wasn't even a receiver. He wasn't even on the field.
I'm just throwing this back at you. And you also say DeMarco is going to touch the ball less because Derrick Henry is going to get more carries.
True.
Yes, that's true. But Delanie Walker, it's going to be tough for him to get 1,000 yards because Rashard Matthews is out there pushing for more touches. Corey Davis is pushing for more. You have Eric Decker pushing for more. Jonnu Smith is a better second tight end than the Titans had last year. That's why this is a tougher question because there's only one football and there's like 8 different guys the Titans could give it to.
Who does Marcus Mariota trust the most out of anybody who catches the football for the Tennessee Titans?
It's Delanie Walker and it's DeMarco Murray. Those are the 2 guys. DeMarco touched it almost 350 times last year. So even if he touches it less this year, he's still approaching 300, which is about 5 times more than Delanie Walker.
Look, Delanie Walker, it's the right answer because he's a tight end.
Okay.
Because of the position he plays. You got to get a good tight end.
You do.
This is something about fantasy that you don't know about.
There's a shortage on tight ends. I get that. But there's also a high value on running backs. That's why DeMarco Murray is the correct answer.
You can keep playing your Candy Crush. I'll be playing fantasy football.
Never played that game in my life. All right. That's today's Extra Point presented by Corner Pub in Brentwood on A to Z Sports Nashville.com.